Harlan's brother. We ready to go?
We missed our connection. We tried.
Oh, live, okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the workshop of the Village of Ruidoso Council. Excuse me, it's May 6th, 8 o'clock, if you will. Join with me for a moment of silence, and we'll have the salute to the flag. Pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
All right. We have roll call, please, ma'am.
Mayor Crawford,
Here?
Councilor Eby,
Here.
Councilor Salas,
Here.
Councilor Hooker,
Here.
Councilor Jackson,
Here.
Councilor Corey,
Here.
Councilor Letterman is absent.
Okay. And Councilor Corey, did you bring any show and tell this morning from your?
Oh, I'm not going to tell.
Oh, you're not going to tell? He's been Italy, right?
Beautiful women.
Women. Oh, okay. I was going to talk about scenery.
Well, thank
Okay. Well, good. We're glad you made it back safe. And
Thank you, sir.
that did you have a lot of delays in the airports?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's not a good deal. That one's not.
Tariffs.
Tariffs. Okay, we're going to get into our agenda items in today's workshop. Everybody knows that. And I want to thank, again, Ron for getting us the funding for the fence and everything down at the property that we have at the racetrack. Got all that through DFA, and then it looks like maybe a little of the hydro seeding, so he reached out and made that happen. Item number 1, discussion on amendment number 2024-004 with Souder Miller and Associates to provide design and bid services for wastewater collection improvements in the Country Club subdivision in the amount of $231,284.32, including New Mexico GRT. And it's going to be one day older. He had a big birthday yesterday, so if anybody didn't know, and belated birthdays to Adam. Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor. Mayor, Council, this is basically just for the engineering for the sewer system for the High Loop Country Club subdivision. As you know, we're doing the water right now. This next year, we can actually put in for Water Trust Board funding to fund that. So this will just give us points towards having towards the Water Trust Board to have it on the shelf. And as you know, we have Pine Cliff on the shelf already, so if we can have these two projects ready to go, it's a better chance of getting funded.
Could you give just a little Reader's Digest version where you're at on getting that done and the patching on this project?
So, okay.
On the one that they're working on
Gotcha.
currently.
So as of right now, they've got about right at 7,000 linear feet of pipe in the ground. They're doing it in thirds, so they're doing the Coronado, Lupine, and Wildwood first. As soon as they get all the pipe in the ground connected, all the services connected up, they'll go and patch that section and then start moving to another section. So talking to the contractor yesterday, he's saying in the next 30 days they should be done with that first part, that first piece.
Because you'll be getting calls if you hadn't already.
Yes, sir.
But it's coming along pretty good. All right, any other questions? Where do you want this one?
Consent.
Consent? Are we good?
Yep.
Thank you. Item number 2, discussion on change order number 7 with AUI Inc. for rebid of hazard mitigation and stabilization for sewer lines and close out, decreasing the total contract cost by $1,325,852.90 for a new cost of $11,744,459.15, including New Mexico GRT.
Okay, again, Mayor, Council, This is the final change order and closeout for the hazard mitigation project. It is a decrease, finally they, came in and got the as-built drawings and everything else. Once going through everything, we decreased the contract by $1.3 million.
Any questions?
No, I just think it might be good to have that before the public, not because because that's a huge amount of money and a savings, which I don't think many would understand or even know unless we made it public to them, so.
And you talked about, elaborate just a little bit on why next week, on why we getting the money back?
Oh, okay, so yes. And I can kind of, like right now, as you know, this was just the armament of the sewer lines and then raising the manholes and stuff. Through the flood, a lot of it did survive. There was a couple pieces that did not, but if we did not have this done, it would have taken out the whole collection system. A lot of the stuff was, it was all engineered, but there was a lot of field engineering that went into this once they actually got into it. Some of it was the rock that they encountered. The other parts were some of the changes we made in the river, and that's the reason for the decrease of the cost.
Adam, I had someone question me the other day that there was some sewage leakage in the river, and I told them no.
We don't know anything about it.
Not the word that we're aware of. If there's something we're aware of, we'd
In the past, we'd had a little, when it was clogged up and they were, the boulders and dirt and
Yeah.
everything.
No, I didn't think we did.
No, just then. Regular?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
regular.
Item number 3, discussion on award of RFP 2025-011P to Stag Louise.
Mayor Crawford, we might have to have Greg pronounce
Well,
that
we're
for
gonna,
us.
yeah. Well, you gotta hold your mouth and do this.
Yes.
Liuzzi.
Louise LLC for professional legal service for special PFAS litigation counsel awarded through RFP number 2025-011P.
4.
Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped down, didn't I?
Yes.
For professional legal service for special PFAS litigation counsel.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Mayor, Council, this is the contract for the RFP 2025-012P for professional legal services for special PFAS litigation counsel. One proposal was received to be evaluated, and it was from Stag Louisa.
Yeah, good, yes.
And the committee discussed the response of evaluation criteria and the references that were provided. And then collectively, they scored the proposal. And the proposal was very well written and prepared. And the requirements of this procurement, Louisa, they scored high.
Okay,
And for award, there is no award for this. They'll get paid according to, there is a lawsuit and the lawsuit is won, then from those proceedings, they get their money.
Ron, are you familiar with this firm?
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Corey, yes. The mayor and I, we had a presentation with another attorney that had this,
Zamora.
the information on this, and also the municipal league's looking into it. And Christie's received, I think, 4 other entities that have asked for the RFP, and it's something that's coming through the EPA. No one else in the state of New Mexico has even contracted with anybody to try to recoup some of these funds. There's already settlements that have already happened with these large corporations, and it's going to come down through EPA, and we're going to have to be prepared and be able to do some filtering and whatnot for PFAS. So it's a lot.
Yeah, they, there's already been I don't know how many billions they came up with already set aside, kind of like the mesothelioma thing, from 3M and from DuPont. And to be able to access these funds, you have to, and so we did, there's a time limit on this. It's basically this time next year. And in between that, we have to have studies done, water samples, all of these things done. So this law firm takes care of all the sampling, getting all the paperwork done, everything. And they get paid when we get paid. So, anyway, and then some of the proceeds are intended to go to the water plants to find out what we've got to do to get that PFAS out. So, they say it's in everything. So what do y'all want to do with that one? You want to, sorry?
Yeah, we can do consent on that one.
Consent? Okay, and then the next one is awarding the contract.
Contract.
You want to know consent, regular? Consent? Okay,
I'm sorry, what was that?
consent.
Consent.
On 3 and 4. Okay, thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jacqueline. Number 5, discussion on 100-year floodplain map for Cherokee Bill watershed. Mike?
Mayor and council, so this is the updated floodplain that we were waiting for, Cherokee Bill floodshed, which is Highway 70. They finalized all of the hydro studies and the H&H for the floodplain in general, and they will be presenting that for your discussion and possible approval.
What's the takeaway?
The takeaway would be a new floodplain map that would be adopted that would go into effect.
No, but I mean, what's the significance? Was there a big
Oh.
change?
Yes, sir. So they'll get into it tomorrow, but there's definite change to the floodplain map in that area, probably between 30 to 50%. The water volumes that are going to be coming down are going to be significant once the Rio Ruidoso, and what this shows at the meeting of Cherokee Bill. Worst case scenario, if we see that kind of flooding, we could see up to about 48,000 CFS, which is cubic feet per second, coming through that area if a 100-year flood hit both burn scars.
So another highway flooding.
Yeah.
The
Good.
water level could possibly pull up the highway
Yeah.
with the volumes and the force that it's coming at.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I mean, at that high of a level.
But we do know that on the tribal side, on Bear Canyon and whatnot, that they're supposedly putting in a detention pond that's as big as the one at the track.
There are some silt ponds that are going up, as well as alluvial fans that they've been working on. I think they're in discussion with Army Corps to figure out if they can do the HESCO baskets or some form of water stoppage product to slow it down as well in their fields before it hits the village limits.
I noticed there were surveyors out on 70.
Yes, sir. So there's a couple of different programs. NRCS is actually working in that area as well, along with our team in Cobb Finley. One was to identify high water marks and locations. NRCS had surveyors out there to identify property to figure out if there's options or an opportunity to possibly dig a desilting and a water pond in that area to help slow down the water as well.
In mayor and council, also Bohannon Houston has been doing the surveying on the intersection. Also, we met with Department of Transportation, as Rifle was talking about flooding on Highway 70. They're going to do their on-call contract with Bohannon, try to do more of a drainage study also on that whole area there by the church, the J-Bar J Church. Try to include that with it, just to get all the drainage done on this study as a, part of it anyway. So we're working on that too, so.
I think the last project is NRCS is partnering with DOT. Their goal was to desilt all of the waterways. Because Cherokee Bill runs through there, that ditch technically can be desilted, so I think they're also looking at that as well.
Okay, regular?
Regular.
Will the map be on the agenda that we post Thursday?
So the map that they're sharing, again, is that freeze frame one.
Okay.
And we can probably get multiple if it helps everybody closer zoomed in sections, maybe in 6. I'll ask for that. I know last time we did it, it was just that really large focused map and it was really hard to see. Because of the technology they're using, they can zoom in and out very easily on screens, but to have a full depiction of a map attached, I'll ask for multiple copies zoomed in a little bit better. But
Okay.
it won't, unless we zoom in very closely, you still won't see homes or trees or lot
Right,
lines.
right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Regular item number 6, excuse me. Item number 6, discussion on adoption of Resolution 2025-14, adopting a revised travel policies and procedures manual, providing for the repeal of prior resolutions, and written travel policies and procedures and an effective date. Yes, ma'am, Judy?
Good morning, Mayor and Council. This is an update to our travel policy that follows the state, and DFA made some changes that will take effect July 1st. So on non-overnight travel and for return travel, the amounts for how much money are allotted for meals has changed. For 2 hours but less than 6 went up from 20 to 25. For 6 hours but less than 12 went from 42 to 50. And then for more than 12 hours, it went from 59 to 70. And then the overnight per diem rates for in-state went from 166 to 180. In-state special areas, which is just Santa Fe, went from 231 to 249. And then out-of-state went from 166 to 180. And international went from 290 to 298. They also changed the number of miles that you qualify for travel from your home base. Before it was 30, now it has to be 50 miles before you can claim travel, so. And those are all the changes.
So you were saying Santa Fe's the only,
In-state special area.
okay.
And that was, I think, 1 or 2 updates before this one, so,
Consent.
Consent?
okay.
Thank you, Judy. Item number 7, discussion on adoption of Resolution 2025-16, a resolution amending the Village of Ruidoso Personnel Policy, Chapter 4, Section 2-6, Pay, Chapter 4, Section 8, Shift Differential, Chapter 5, Section 6, Scheduling, Chapter 6, Section 9, Employee Acknowledgement. Yes, ma'am.
Morning, Mayor and
Good
Council.
morning.
Morning.
So just a few updates to the personnel policy. The first one regarding temporary incentive pay, which would include field training officer, safety liaison, and special assignment pay. If an employee goes on FMLA or workers' comp and is out for an extended time, that employee should not receive those temporary incentives at that time. They're not permanent, they could end at any time, and so we want to pull that back. The next section, 4-8, shift differential, same thing. If an employee would normally qualify for shift differential, working that particular schedule, and they go on FMLA or workers' comp, we would like to pull that back, and when they return to work, they would then again receive the shift differential pay.
Cheryl, do you know why they changed it this way to begin with?
Mayor, Councilor Corey, I do not. Honestly, I just don't think it was ever addressed, and there's been some things that we've been discussing with payroll that we just need to clean up. Chapter 5-6, scheduling. So this is going to refer to a department that may adopt a temporary schedule, such as our street department. As an example, they're working 4-10s, Monday through Thursday, and 1 8-hour shift. This is a temporary timeframe, and this is going to have to do with leave. So during temporary adjusted schedules of greater than 40 hours, leave would only be granted up to 40 hours unless the leave is requested in advance and pre-approved. For example, if an employee works the 4-10s and then calls in on a Friday on the 8-hour, we are only obligated to make them whole at 40, so therefore they've worked their 40, and therefore that leave would not be approved. If leave is requested in advance and approved in advance, then they have an obligation to take that.
Mayor,
So there's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
question for the chief. Do you see any adverse impact from these changes?
I don't know that I've actually seen what these are, but I don't know as far as any scheduling issues for us that it's going to affect us in any way. We've already worked with altered schedules, and most of our guys, work around our vacation time as effectively as we can, so.
And he was almost full, and now he's not. Go ahead.
Mine was, if I'm reading it right, that's a 48-hour work week, Monday through Friday. So is that 8 hours paid at time and a half?
No, sir.
How is that possible?
Oh, I'm sorry. If they're working the 410s and the 1/8, yes, sir, it is. It's 8
Okay,
hours of
Okay,
overtime.
that's what I was just wanting to clarify.
And Cheryl, you worked with Dina Holcomb on all this, so our labor attorney, so.
Yes, yes. The next section in the 5-6 scheduling would also pertain to fire staff. Again, they would, unless leave is requested in advance and pre-approved, they would only be eligible for the 96 or 120 to make them whole. We've had situations where they were on a 120 and then for different reasons took additional leave and we're paying out 144 hours in a payroll. The last section is 6-9. It's the employee acknowledgement section. When we rewrote the personnel policy, if you all will remember, we grandfathered in our employees hired prior to that time, which affected the vacation accrual, the sick leave payout, the retirement provisions, and the longevity. We recently discovered that the longevity portion was left off in error. And so the only thing we're doing here is adding in that language and 10-10 longevity pay on retirement, which is reflected in the previous policy, which says that if an employee retires after June 30th, but before the next December payment, the employee shall be entitled to the full amount of longevity paid at $4 for each full month of employment, not to exceed $1,200. And I'll stand for any questions.
Anything? Okay, thanks, Cheryl. Where do you guys want it?
Consent?
Consent.
Okay.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Item number 8, discussion on joint powers agreement between the Village of Ruidoso and Ruidoso Downs Racetrack for providing security for special events for the 2025 race season.
This is just a continuation of the agreement that we do annually with the racetrack to provide security if and when they give us the opportunity or request our assistance.
And the same with number 9, the Jockey Club.
Correct,
safety.
and the same for number 9. Usually that was provided twice a year, but when they do request it and we go down and work assist with security there at the Jockey Club at the racetrack.
Chief, how's that subsidized? Does lodger's tax pay?
No, we pay for it.
We pay for it out of
The
general?
Jockey Club or the
Jockey
racetrack.
Club and the track race.
Okay,
Private,
okay,
so.
thank you.
Yeah, well, they send us a bill, it's time and a half, whatever covers the,
Yes.
Consent on both.
okay? Like traffic control and stuff like that.
Yes.
Item number 10, discussion on memorandum of understanding. I'm sorry, I want to choke there. Morning, Bill. Discussion on MOU between the Village of Ruidoso, City of Ruidoso Downs as the administrative authority for the Ruidoso Downs Police Department for DWI enforcement and reimbursement of costs in an amount not to exceed $2,000 for a period of time between July 1, 2025 and May 31st, 2026. Also, item number 11, same deal, but with the County of Lincoln. And it's for $4,000. Number 12, discussion on MOU with the village as fiscal agent with the Lincoln County Ruidoso DWI program of the Village of Ruidoso for the Ruidoso Police Department for DWI enforcement and reimbursement costs not to exceed $4,000 between July 1 and May 31, 2026. And number 13 is a MOU with the Village of Ruidoso and the town of Carrizozo. It's for $1,000 between July 1, 2025 and May 31st, 2026. Item number 14 is the MOU between the Village of Ruidoso and Capitan, and it's for $1,000, same time period. And number 15 is discussion on MOU with Capitan Therapy and Behavioral Health LLC to provide individual and group domestic violence offender treatment in the amount not to exceed $6,000.
Mayor, could I
Yes,
stop
go
you
right
there
ahead.
for a minute? Going back to each of the other municipalities, I guess because the county and us are the largest populated, why we get 4,000 and everyone else gets 1,000 is, how does that work?
Well, this year, I'm doing it a little different because last year and this year, we've had a shortfall in our income for the distribution.
Okay,
And so next year, I'm gonna cut those down a little bit. Basically, Capitan's got one officer right now.
Right.
And he doesn't work overtime. So I don't expect that to be spent unless they get somebody else. Rosa has one officer, as far as I know.
Ruidoso Downs.
Ruidoso Downs has two right now. They've got a chief and a deputy chief and a captain. And they haven't worked any of last year's money.
well, you answered it by just cutting the allotment and stuff. However, I remember a couple of years ago, it may have been last year, that we ended up having to return money because it wasn't always used. Was that correct?
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay,
Last year, we came up $6,000 short in our distribution, and I had to do the same thing I'm doing this year. I had to cut things off early,
right.
and I wound up sending back 500 maybe, I don't know, wasn't very much. I'm hoping this year, if we get more, right now, they're projecting that I'm gonna get about 30,000 in the last distribution, which is gonna be close to 20,000 short
Right,
of what I was supposed to get. And I cut everything off a couple weeks ago, as soon as I found out about it. I think I'm gonna be all right. I may have to give up my last paycheck last month's, but
Well, that's a different line item. Ron, explain that, because we were at the DWI deal, we had money. So what he put in for, we didn't fund it fully?
Mayor Crawford, members of the council, what you do on the distribution, you do get your granted amount, but it's still based on the distribution of the liquor excise tax every month, so you really don't know if you're getting it or not. So you may reach that amount that you've been awarded, you may not. Just depends on the liquor excise tax that is the distribution every year. So there's times you may be short, and you just have to budget in order to meet that and not to exceed it, so. Very complicated formula. And then you don't find out till June, and then you have the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, so it doesn't give you a lot of time. Sometimes you get too much, and then you have to try to spend it down, then you have to pay it, and then you have to pay it back, so.
the usual scenario is you get 5,000 or 6,000 more than what they said you would get. And like he said, then you have about 2 weeks to spend it, and if you don't get it done, you wind up sending it back. That has been the case nearly every year up until last year. And like I said, we wound up $6,000 short last year.
right.
I don't know the reason for this. It's not just Lincoln County. This is statewide. The whole state is having the same problem, and I don't understand the reason for it. Julie up at DFA said possibly it was due to the fact that the governor gave all of the microbreweries 2 years ago, she gave them a big tax break on the liquor tax, just to help them get started and get things going. And I don't know, she did the same thing this year, so, and we're having the same trouble this year, so I suspect that's it. You know, that's what's causing the shortfall. But I don't know that.
Okay, that helped a little bit.
I say,
It's up to his discretion, basically, is what he's saying. Whoever can use it, use
Uses
it.
it.
Yeah, and there was a proposed additional 20% liquor tax that was defeated. I thought we kept the same amount. And then if there's not as much taxes, of course, there's not going to be as much revenue. It's the same sword we live and die by in business every day. You don't sell it, you don't have it.
I say consent on 10 through 14.
Yes.
Okay. And then 15 is the same thing as we had last year, behavioral health with Cap-10 therapy and behavioral health. 16 is Hope Floats. Anybody want to have any questions about that one?
No.
Consent? Yep.
Yes.
Then item number 17, discussion on sub-grant agreement between the Village of Ruidoso as the fiscal agent for Lincoln County, Ruidoso DWI program, and the Department of Public Safety, State of New Mexico, acting through the Grant Accountability and Compliance section for DWI enforcement and the reimbursement of costs in the amount not to exceed $4,000 for the period of time between July 1, 2025 and May 31, 2026. Item number 18, discussion on the fifth renewal agreement between the Village of Ruidoso and William and/or Elizabeth Hanson, DBA Hanson Consulting, for professional services for a DWI grant program coordinator to run from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $93,000. Item number 19. Discussion on renewal agreement between the Village of Ruidoso and Melinda Mader for professional services for a DWI prevention assistant to run from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026 in the amount not to exceed $69,000.
I see all consent, but I do have a question on Melinda Mader. Is she still employed through Region 9? Or is this just a separate contract directly?
She has a contract directly with the DWI program. And she is working toward getting her prevention certificate. She's been taking some courses and it's costing her a good bit of money. So one of them she had to go to Albuquerque for almost a week.
So for some reason, I thought we had an agreement with Region 9 that they would do that for her or that position, because is Linda Hand still employed?
No.
She's gone, right?
No.
Okay, so,
Region 9, when we put this up last year, Mandy was the only one who applied.
right.
And like I say, I put it out to everybody, Region 9, and nobody was interested. If she can get her prevention certificate, we have 2 years, we have to have a preventionist.
Right, that's why we thought we kept Linda Hand on,
Yes.
because she was certified and all that.
And that problem kind of solved itself, but if we don't get Mandy certified within 2 years, then I have to apply for an extension, and I have to be able to show that she is working toward her certification, and she is. I mean, she's taking a lot of online courses, she's taken some in-person courses, and I think she's going to be able to get it done by the end of this next year, which will be good, because we won't have to
Right.
mess with getting extensions from DFA and all that stuff. But, and she told me last week that she has got Hondo back on board with that Protecting You, Protecting Me program. The only one that we're having trouble with now is Capitan, and she's working on them, so We'll see what happens, but
Well, that's good, that's good.
Anything else?
That's all I had.
Consent.
All consent? Okay. All right, thank you, Bill. Back to the regular agenda. We'll have also the consent regular items, approval of governing body minutes for April 8th, regular meeting, April 23rd, workshop meeting, April 24th, 2025, special meeting, April 24th, 2025, workshop meeting, May 6th, workshop meeting. We will have public input, mail reports and presentations, new employees and promotions, Wildfire Community Preparedness Day proclamation for May 17th, professional May 4th through the 10th, 2025, as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. You get your whole week? Okay.
Also gonna be one for Public Works Month.
Mm-hmm.
She printed this before I.
Okay, there'll be Public Works too?
Yvonne, what about the solar, on the solar? When I,
We have to have a proclamation for solar?
no, just on the, under mayoral reports. Yes, we have he retired from Department of Finance and in MNRD. And he's working with the coalition on the solar mayor, and when you were,
Oh, you're talking about for the new?
yes, doing the testimony on new funding, and he really, I mean, he just said the mayor did a great job, and no one got it. He said the mayor got it, and he'd like to present to council, just give an update on it, and I've known him a long time with Department of Finance, so.
Because we have a chance to get our money back.
Did you have it?
Really?
You know, that we're at that 0.01% loan. And what the municipal league did is we pushed money for solar at smaller municipalities or whatever, and it was awarded. And so we have the ability to apply for that and get that debt wiped out. Then we'll have an update on marketing and advertising from Carrie Gladden, CEO of the agency. And that's just so that you'll have an understanding of all the marketing and advertising that we do. You know, there seems to be a few people in the community that don't understand what we're doing. But, and also, Judy we got some numbers in, and Judy put those numbers out. And, you know, we're looking really pretty good considering where we've been, and we're over 2023's numbers. We're catching up to 2024.
Great.
And again, if I could make a comment on that, because I got hit up last night by a constituent about there's nothing in El Paso. They don't know anything about what's going on up here. And as now my current position, I ask people, where you from, where you business from? I bet it's 80% are coming from El Paso.
El Paso, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is
Good stuff in El
left and right. I don't get it. I think a lot of it's just they are looking for someone to say is not doing why my business is not making.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to have a little discussion on that, and then we might be able to go ahead and point out some key numbers just on our, because GRT last month, year over year, funds that we received was what, $400,000 over? Something like that? Last year's, before the fire.
Wow.
So that's, you know, that's not chicken feed, that's pretty
How's
good.
lodger's tax doing?
It's starting to come up. Counselor Corey Mayor, the last few months, we've only been down about 20,000 per month when you look at this month compared to last month, so we're slowly coming back, although when you look at year-to-date, we're still down a lot.
Are there still a lot of long-term tenants and hotels?
Mayor and Councilor Corey, one of the things that we're starting to see with the projects as they start to deteriorate or come off of where they're at is that we are seeing that transition. So prior to the last couple of months, you had the state and DRC, you had NRCS and all of their contractors. You had a significant number of people that were in those hotel rooms. They are starting to transition out. The goal is that most of them will probably be out of the village by June 1st, if not right towards the middle of June. But there are several people still in town for those projects.
Can you get an update on the RV situation too? Remember when they were gonna allow the people that were living in RVs, the FEMA, were supposed to be given the opportunity to purchase those? And it's supposed to be like a really affordable deal.
Really?
So if we could find out if that ever went through. We got some people hooked up on that, but I haven't heard any results.
We'll get you a number, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, on the solar presentation, he won't be here till the June meeting, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Anything else I don't think of right now on mayor reports? Boards and commissions, Parks and Rec, if y'all have that one, but aren't y'all short one? We're at one, we're still trying to find a candidate. Oh, okay, you don't have one yet? Okay. So I don't think there's anything else, is there, Yvonne? They're all full still?
Except for Zoom.
Oh, the museum, we need one for the museum board. I thought we filled it with Jennifer. No, she's on the Friends of.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I don't know.
We'll need to get with them and find out, because I know they appointed a couple of, they getting the Friends of the museum put together. And then I thought they said they had somebody else that was going to be filling that vacant spot. Okay. Okay. Village Manager's Report. Presentation on child care zoning by Kate Noble. Yes, sir.
Can I ask Matt if, because I've been telling people the WIBIT isn't gonna be set up. But what came to mind for me was, did we not give a discount because of the fire last year and the people that bought season permits or passes and stuff like that? We were gonna do some kind of. Oh, you refunded them? Okay. Okay, so that, if they did carry over, then they'll just be for the pool and nothing, because it was the same, it just included, the price was the same for both, correct? So, okay, that helps. But yeah, since they're not gonna set up the WIBIT, that's
Yeah.
a few, and
But everybody's got their money back.
Pretty much. There's a few that wanted to carry over, but very few.
Okay.
And so those few will just get full passes.
Okay.
good.
And Mayor and Council, Kate Noble, I know that you and other councilors attended the
Evie's there,
Peace
Susan.
Coalition meeting. And she works for a nonprofit. They do the daycare from the home, and she wants to just provide some information. And Councilor Eby he was able to get the contacts with that group, and so she's going to provide a presentation.
Great.
And everybody knows that Region 9 now has the Seasons Nursery and the Citibank Bank Building, plus this land over here now, so. Public hearings, public hearing for applications submitted by Verde Development Limited Company located at 1056 Meacham Drive, Ruidoso, New Mexico, for transfer of ownership of liquor license DIS-000899. Where's that going? 1056 is? And this is the one that's coming out of Farmington, the last one. Okay. Item number 2, public hearing for the mixed-use PUD zoning, designation with site plan and concept approval for Planning Commission, case number SP 2025-31 for 270 Country Club Drive, the country club track of the Cree Meadows Country Club subdivision. Okay, that should hopefully go through pretty smooth. And don't believe we have any other public hearings. Regular items, discussion and possible action on adoption of Resolution 2025-15, amending the credit card policy according to requirements of Department of Finance and Administration. This was something that I thought we had already done,
I thought so.
so we're just putting it on there. It's when people pay with a credit card, they pay the two, what we did, we come up with a figure in this?
Yes, Judy, you want to explain the process, because it has to be approved by DFA and Mayor and Council. I know the city of Roswell, they are also looking at doing this, and they were going to add a 2.8%, I think is what they were going to do, so, but
Right now, Mayor, we're looking at a 2.3 or 2.5% fee. And along with our budget, when we submit our initial budget, we have to update our credit card policies, and that's part of our budget packet. And if it's not included, then DFA won't approve your budget, so.
Is this the surcharge?
Yeah, the convenience fee. The only thing we have to do too is we're getting charged when they debit the bank accounts also, so I don't know if we want to do that or if we can and stuff, so that's something else I'm looking for. That might not be in this update, we might come back and update it later and stuff, so. I just want to make sure that we're within line with what we can do by statute.
what's the fee on that, Judy, when they do a bank draft, just
But they're all
ACH?
different, every
wow.
company's different, so we're just taking averages about what
Okay.
it is, just making sure that we're not extending over our highest merchant fee.
Okay.
Because we have like, I want to say 7 different credit card merchants, because every software that you get requires you use.
Use that one.
So our rates range all different, so.
And you can't cut it down to, if you use American Express, it's this much, if you use MasterCard, it's this much.
No, because Global charges a certain fee for MasterCard and Visa and American, and then Transaction Services charges a different fee for those
That's
same.
what I meant, you can't break it down, if you use this or if this is used.
That's something I have to look at. It could maybe be programmed within the software itself. I'll have to look at that to see if it could be, yeah. Which will be kind of hard to manage, because then every single software or in-person card will have a different convenience fee, which I guess you can do that. I'm not sure if you can or not. That's something that I need to look into.
Judy, Mr. Mayor, Judy, I think you touched on it, but for the normal bank drafts that are automated, so, for every month, are you charged for those as well as a
No.
transaction fee?
No, but we do pay a processing fee, because again, there's a third-person party that's taking the transaction from the software, processing it for them, and then they pass it on to us. But it's not as much as a credit card.
You think it's less than 1% or close to?
I'm not sure how much it is. Because I think on some softwares we charge per transaction, some we charge, it's a percentage, so. That's why it's been so kind of difficult to get everything, tried it into a level playing field so that you can look at apples to apples and oranges to oranges, so.
Thank you.
But that'll be on the, one way or another, so.
Okay. Making money out of almost thin air, really. Item number 2, discussion and possible action on adoption of Resolution 2025-17, a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2026, July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 budget for all funds to the local government division of the New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration. Okay. And anything else? And we will have some closed session items. Yeah, can't think of anything that's really pending, but we can just give an update on some of the things we're working on at the airport. Okay? Anything else? Okay, that makes it too easy. We'll get loaded up between then and there. Okay, well, that covers today's agenda, and this meeting is adjourned.
Just Title IX need all of the land.
Well, because they eventually want to build some sort of all-in-one place, Title IX, Region 9,
Oh, yeah.
but they just keep piecemealing it.